Hi, my name is Kayla.
And I'm Hannah.
And this is Read Laird Weewinik, a YVC Library podcast. The book we'll be covering today is Speak by Laurie Hans Anderson, I believe is the last name.
I believe
But
so.
anyways, Speak is a book about a teenage girl, going through the aftermath of a sexual assault. So there's a trigger warning in place. We'll be talking about sensitive subjects this episode. So just giving you a warning now. With that being said, let's get into the first question. Discuss the title of the novel and its significance. What roles do silence and truth play in the story?
I think, well, for a good chunk of the book, she wasn't necessarily silent.
Yeah. I don't feel like she wanted to talk about the experience.
Yeah, and I feel like, in a sense,
and I get
that makes sense, yeah.
Because, she went through something traumatizing, and obviously the whole aftermath of what happened after it, and her calling the cops and stuff.
Which, honestly, kind of eat that up, kind of was.
Well, yeah, I would do the same if I were in her shoes. I think the word speak as the title has such significance because it's hard for victims of assault to actually, speak up. And I feel like it was a well-chosen title.
I feel like it held enough significance and, a lot of victims don't speak.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to do.
It's a tough thing. It's not only that, you have to look at, sometimes victims aren't necessarily believed, and that's...
Yeah, and it's just a mess, and it makes them feel even worse. So, I feel like in the story, the silence kind of rules her.
Yeah.
I feel like things could have been better if she spoke sooner. But like I said, it's hard to speak about something like that. You know what I mean? So as for, the truth aspect, I don't really know. Obviously, she wants to tell the truth about what happened to her. But once again, it's an incredibly hard thing to do. And sometimes you convince yourself that it didn't really happen the way it did. Almost like imposter syndrome in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say something and I was like,
maybe we should keep it PG for the podcast. Is there a relationship between speaking and listening? Can one exist without the other?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I feel like they're the same side of the, different sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
You can talk to someone, but you also have to listen to them and kind of process what they're saying to you.
It's like a two-sided street.
Yeah, I don't think one can exist without the other, to be honest. I guess people can speak and some people don't listen, I guess.
Because of death?
Or they just don't want to. So I see that aspect of it, but
I just
other than that, I don't really think they can exist without each other.
They have to coexist.
Exactly. What is friendship? Describe the important elements of Melinda's relationships with Heather, Ivy, Nicole, and Rachel. Is she really even friends with any of them? Can friendship mean something different to different people? You sound like you have opinions on this one.
I love... Did you write these?
No, I didn't write these.
I love how this one's worded. Is she ever really friends with any of them? No.
I don't think so. Because obviously, you know how Heather used her, basically, and then she kind of tossed her away once she couldn't fit in with the cool planning girls or whatever.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
My thing is, not only that, the way they all, turned on her after she
called the cops at the party. You don't even know what happened, and you, booted out your best friend of, 8 years?
Yeah, my thing is,
because they called cops at a party.
I couldn't imagine, being able to sleep at night and not knowing what was up. Because,
Literally.
people don't just sit there and go, oh, I'm gonna call the cops,
Yeah, why would... Hannah and I have been friends for, over 10 years. I don't think there was any moment if she went to a party and called the cops, I'd be like, oh, I'm dropping her.
She's ruined the party.
You ruined our over 10-year friendship. How dare you?
Because you called the cops. How dare you?
I get they're, young teenagers or whatever, but, have they no sense of loyalty?
Yeah,
no sense of commitment?
They're teenagers, but,
It can't be that stupid, right? It's kind of a hot mess.
What is this high school teaching these kids?
Yeah, I don't really think she's true friends with any of them, because they kind of just tossed her and used her. As for friendship meaning something else to different people, of course it means something else to different people. I can't really go into it because my words don't make sense. Melinda says it's easier not to say anything. Shut your trap, button your lip, can it. All that crap you hear on TV about communication and expressing feelings is a lie. Nobody really wants to hear what you have to say. Do you agree with her? Why or why not? And do you think the events in the novel support or negate her statement?
I feel like it depends because, in situations like that, there is people who don't want to hear it and then will immediately not believe you.
Yeah, and they'll just kind of block it off and be like, whatever, I don't care.
They hear what you say and then they harass you regardless because
they care about the person you're putting allegations against.
And as someone who went through a year-long harassment, it's so crazy to think to place myself in someone else's shoes because if it were me, no way I would be harassing someone.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's just, it doesn't make sense to me. I do agree that not a lot of people want to hear what victims have to say. I feel like they kind of just want to push past it since it's such an uncomfortable subject to talk about.
Or victim blame.
Yeah, like, victim blaming is obviously a big thing. It, like, it's not cool. But no, I completely agree with her. A lot of people don't want to hear what you have to say. Yeah. They just want you to get over it and talk about something else, which is honestly
kind of cuckoo.
Yeah, it's a mess.
My dad behavior.
Yeah, honestly. So I think the events in the novel, I think they kind of support her statement with certain characters.
It definitely goes back and forth.
Exactly. Like you could like weigh both ideas in hands and you'd get like the same. That didn't even make sense. Words. What keeps Melinda silent? What is she afraid of?
Speaking? No, just kidding. Could you imagine?
I mean, she is basically. She's scared of speaking and telling what happened to her.
I guess so. Maybe. Like, I kind of perceived it maybe, like, she's scared to speak it out loud. Yeah. Because, like, a lot of times in my head, like, if you say it out loud, it's essentially, like, it's a real thing that happened.
Yeah, that's true. It's a hard thing to wrap your head around. I mean, I think it's obvious what she's afraid of. She's afraid of the backlash. She's afraid of what her assaulter will do to her if she says something.
Not believing her. And
yeah, there's, like, so many things to be afraid of when you're a victim of assault like that. And it's hard to get out of your own head.
Especially, like, the way it was written in this book.
Yeah, and the teenagers, oh my god, so rude. I wouldn't say anything to them either.
I'm so thankful we're not teenagers anymore.
Oh, you know what? I feel like we were pretty iconic. I feel like we were iconic. We were way more balanced than that.
No kidding.
I know 13-year-old Kayla would have been like, 13-year-old Kayla was a mess, though, I gotta say. Anyways. Why does Melinda isolate herself from her friends? Is she justified in doing so? And I'm like, obviously she isolated herself from her friends because they dropped her after she called the cops.
Not only that, they suck.
Yeah, they were just rude to her and calling her all sorts of names and, like, mouthing that they hate her and stuff. And I'm like, dude, all she did was call the cops at a party because something bad happened to her and you didn't even care enough to ask.
My thing is, like, the way, like, the friends were and sometimes just had me laughing so hard because if I saw a teenager in the same age doing that, they'd be junk kicked so bad.
I know. I was like, I cannot believe these are, like... I know it's not technically a true story, but it's so realistic. It just makes me want to pull out my teeth.
Well, the kids...
And, like, throw them at the kids.
Her friends were so, like, quirky,
so too. Mean.
Quirky and mean. Like...
So, yeah, I do think she's justified in isolating herself. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, I would do it in a split second. I'd cut them out.
There'd be no coming back to that.
Why do you think Melinda refers to Andy Evans as it in the beginning of the novel? At what point does she start calling him by name? Why? I mean, I feel like it's pretty clear she calls him it because she doesn't want to kind of recognize the person that hurt her so badly as a person. Because is he really a person? More like a monster.
Yeah. Is he a man?
Is he a man or is he a Muppet? But I think she starts calling him by name towards, like, the middle of the book when she, like, sees him again for the first time. And she's like, oh, it's him.
Yeah, it's it.
It's the creature looming in the darkness.
It's the man in my walls.
I feel like she starts saying his name to kind of, like, make it feel more real with herself and like, validate her experience. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Different strokes from different folks.
Yeah, I get it. In what places is Melinda able to find sanctuary at school? How do the characteristics of these places provide a window into her character? I mean, she finds her sanctuary in her art class with her teacher.
Yeah.
She's working on her tree. She's trying to get the perfect tree. And I feel like it was a good distraction for her throughout the novel a lot because she had something to focus on and perfect.
Oh, yeah. She had something to, channel those emotions in.
Yeah, and I think that was really important. But I guess... As for characteristics with the place that gives her comfort, I guess I'd say she's, like, artistic. And, like... Huh?
I'll tell you later.
Okay. But, yeah. I think she's artsy and she's creative.
She's quirky.
And she probably pushed some of it back because, I mean, obviously... She was traumatized, yeah.
She wasn't being quirky to be quirky.
Okay, do you think it's possible to speak without spoken words? She just, like, gave me a look.
As I'm, like, speaking with no words.
Yeah, like, she just gave me a look like you guys could, like, see what she's doing, even though this is an audio recording.
I do that all the time. I don't...
Like, we're on, like, a sitcom in the late 80s. Just, like someone camera pan. Is that my camera? I
feel like...
But, yeah, I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious you can speak without words.
I feel like facial expressions.
Yeah, body movement, just... You can talk without saying anything. You just gotta know the person you're talking to. You know what I mean?
And sometimes you could speak without saying anything.
Yeah.
If you're gonna tell me nonsense, I'm done.
Yeah, no, I get it. What finally allows Melinda to speak? I mean, I think what allowed her to speak was towards the end how her other friend got kind of assaulted by him, and then her old friend realized, oh, he actually is a bad person.
Yeah, like they kind of banded together in a sense.
Yeah, but the thing that what annoyed me is that they band together for this one chick that was a monster towards Melinda, but they didn't back behind Melinda.
And that's icky to me.
And that, to me, I was like,
that speaks volumes.
I was like, so I can really see who you think is more important. Like, it's just, like, you couldn't believe the first victim. If you believed the first victim, there wouldn't have been a second.
No kidding. And I think that's when it was so, like, in a sense, so similar to my own story.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And, like, that kind of gagged me. I was sitting there, I'm like,
yeah, it was a mess, but I'm glad that she was able to finally speak at the end of the book, because I felt so bad for her.
Oh, yeah.
I was sitting there reading, and I was like, I kind of want to cry a little bit.
Not me. I'm stone cold solid.
Can't relate. I was like a mess. But yeah, overall, I think the book was really good. It was really important, and I definitely recommend reading it, especially if you are a victim. Oh, it kind of sheds light and kind of brings you comfort.
Well, not only that, it gives you a different outlook,
Exactly.
I feel like, as, like, victims, you don't really see that represented in books and movies and TV.
Yeah.
And this definitely did it.
And I feel like it represented it well. Like, her feelings and the way she was handling things, it seemed very real to me.
It seemed genuine.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the author had experienced it herself and was writing in some of her own experiences. But I'm not for sure. She'd just be a really good author. But yeah, overall, I think the book was really good. I liked it, and we hope you guys liked hearing about it.
Maybe. No, I'm kidding.
But no, we missed you guys. It's the beginning of a new quarter, and Hannah officially works with us at the library now. So clap, clap all around. But anyways, I think that's going to wrap it up for now.
That's going to close us off.
It's going to close this episode out. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye!